A student here since the 10th grade, our next speaker is Joe Zhao.
Hello everyone, my name is Joe Zhao. Today I'm going to be talking to you all about table tennis, or more commonly known as ping pong. Well, as some of you may already know, it came from China, where ping pong is a very popular sport. How popular is it? Well, it is not an overstatement to say that ping pong in China is as popular as football in America. Why is that? Well, before we get into it, let me give you some basics about ping pong. You can think of ping pong as a sport that is very similar to tennis, except in a smaller scale. As you can see, the court is shrunk down into a little table. The green linen ball becomes a tiny plastic ball. And as for the racket, it is replaced by a paddle that is covered by thin rubber layers. As for the rules, it is not quite different from the tennis, except when you serve the ball has to be bounced on your own side before it hits your opponent's side. A little history about ping pong. The game was actually originated not in China, but in England during 1880s. It has been suggested that the game was first developed by British military officers in India or South Africa who brought it back with them. They would use books stood up as a net, and they would find two other books to serve as rackets. As for the ball, they didn't have a plastic ball like today we do, so they would use golf ball instead. So the ball bounces on the table and makes the sound ping pong. And that's where the name comes from. The name ping pong was widely used until a British manufacturer called Jakes trademarked it in 1901, and other manufacturers started calling it table tennis. It was also during that period that ping pong started to gain popularity around the world. The World Championship Games started to be hosted in different countries, and the game was eventually introduced as an Olympic game in 1988. Now, let me come back to the question again. Why is it so popular in China? I personally think it has to do with the large population China has. China currently has 1.35 billion people, which is roughly 4 times the American population, and it's also 1/5 of the world's total population. Since the amount of land and resources in China is quite limited, it's reasonable to think that ping pong is more of a practical sport than sports, say, football or soccer, which would presumably require more room and cost. Also, table tennis is a very accessible sport to people with different ages and genders. And like basketball and football, ping pong involves no body contact and is less extreme, which explains why it is an ideal sport for people with various physical conditions. A good example would be my grandpa. He goes to the local recreation center every single day to play ping pong with his friends. As a result, he stays healthy throughout the years. I could still remember the first time I played ping pong with my grandpa. I didn't pay much attention to ping pong before, and I thought my grandpa looked pretty old and slow, it might be easy for me to beat him. So I challenged him for a match. As a result, it turned out to be a wrong decision. I got smashed badly and I lost the game. But later on, as I gained more experience about ping pong, I started to change my understanding in it. I learned that it's not merely a game, but it is a sport that requires great agility and concentration. It has also taught me to use strategy and patience in order to beat your opponent. So after a few years of practice, I joined my school ping pong team and started competing in local competitions. As I went on to middle school, I had less time to play ping pong, but it has definitely become my top choice for exercise. Well, actually, ping pong means something more to me. If it weren't for the sake of ping pong, I would have never been able to come to US and become friends with the awesome guys. And it all has to do with the ping pong diplomacy between China and the United States. Sorry, history lesson again. Since the establishment of Chinese government in 1949, the mainland China remained a mystery to the American public for quite a long time, and Chinese also knew very little about America. However, in 1971, when the American ping pong team was competing in the 31st World Table Tennis Championship game, they received an invitation from their Chinese colleagues for a visit to China. Since then, the gate of communication has been opened. The following year, President Nixon visited China, and in this picture, he's smiling and shaking hands with Chinese Chairman Mao Zedong. Since that historical moment, the relation between China and the United States becomes better year after year. And 30 years after that handshake, I was able to fly across the Atlantic and stand behind this podium, call both America and China my home. And that is all due to this little ping pong ball. Finally, I want to end this with the words of Forrest Gump. My mama always said, life is like a ping pong ball. You never know where it is gonna bounce. Thank you.